What's up, guys? Welcome to Station 3 Productions, and welcome to another episode on how to raise exotic birds successfully. On this episode here, I'm not even sure what number we're on, but anyway, I showed you in a different video, the 3 different styles of nest boxes. I showed you how to modify the one nest box because it was the inside nest box opposed to hanging from the outside. So stick around, stay tuned, and I'll show you how to hang one up properly. Alright guys, now you remember from my other videos where, this one was designed for the inside of the cage, and then I showed you how to modify it so that you can put it on the outside of the cage. Well, now I'm going to show you, a couple of steps where you can hang this up properly, and then hopefully, for breeding purposes, of course, everything will work out for you. You'll get babies and all that good stuff. So first, what you got to do, now, you can go to Walmart or PetSmart or some local, pet store or whatever, and you gotta have bedding. Now, because you definitely don't want to leave it like that. Now, the best bedding that I have came across was something like this. I mean, you only need a small bag of this. This goes a long way. And all of this is just pine shavings. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, what you're going to want to do is take some of this here. Make sure that's all cleaned out, of course. And you're going to put, a couple of inches in there anyway. Because what's going to happen is the bird's going to get in there. The bird's going to come in here, and they're going to end up throwing some of this out anyway, because they're going to, situate that the way they need it. Now there's so many different types of bedding. You can use the pine shavings. You can use this stuff called corn cob, which is basically a ground up corn cob. That's what it is. There's this other stuff that's like recycled newspaper. It comes in like little pebbles or whatever. I've seen people use newspaper, which is really messy. I don't recommend it at all. You can go look on the market. There is so many different things that you can use, but pine shavings has always been good for me, and that's what I've always used. So now, there's also a big no-no. Some people like to use cedar chips because, it smells good, it hides the stink, the whole 9 yards. But do not, and I will probably repeat this 1,000 times before this series is over, do not use cedar chips for your birds. It is very bad. And my phone again. Go figure. Sorry about that. Anyway, do not use the cedar chips, and what happens is it causes upper respiratory issues for your adult birds, and then when you have babies in there, you take a chance on killing those babies because of the upper respiratory issues, and then them, being so small, you will cause more trouble than what it's worth. So please, once again, do not ever use cedar chips. Don't use them for your nest boxes. Do not use them for the trays, underneath the cage. Just completely stay away from it. Well, anyway, alright, so now we got your got your box, 2 inches of bedding. Now we're going to go over here. Now what you're going to want to do is take your box, and depending on the design of your cage, you know, what you're going to want to do is put it up here somewhere on the top, but come all the way to the highest point of your cage, alright? You know, don't put it down here. Don't put it in the front. Don't put it back. Don't put it anywhere on the bottom. You're always going to want the highest point of your cage. Now, and for that simple reason, birds in the wild, they always go to the highest point of a tree. And that's for obvious reasons. So they don't get eaten by anything, right? So, alright, and then, of course, what you're going to want to do is measure from here to here, right? You're going to come over here and count how many bars you need to cut out. And yes, you got to use wire cutters or whatever to cut these bars out, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use wire to run through here. We're going to run it through the top here, and then we're going to tighten that up and make sure that that is really secure. Alright, so you know, you got to make sure that that is really tight and really secure, so you know there's no movement, and of course so the box doesn't fall off. Especially you got your birds in there, you got babies in there or whatever. You don't want the box to fall off. So, right, let me cut this out and hang this up, and I'll show you what it's supposed to look like. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I got one set up here for you. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay. I don't know how much you can see, but right there, you mount the cage, or the nest box. Mount that up here as high as you can go on your cage, like I said. And then you just use wire. I don't know, this is a roll of wire that I had laying around. You run that through there. You run that through, well in this case, both sides of this, so that's secure. And then you come in here, you can see where I used wire cutters to cut these off, cut these bars off so that they can, you know, get in and out or whatever. And then when you do this, you have to take a file, like a metal file or whatever, and file off any sharp edges that may have been left behind from you cutting the wires, because if you're not careful it'll cut their feet and they'll cause all kinds of problems later on down the road. So make sure that that's, you know, filed smooth, or you can use a Dremel to cut it clean, or, you know, whatever you have to use. You got that. And then of course, you know, like I said, 2 inches of bedding, because they're going to end up throwing some of it out anyway to sort it out. And then there you have it. Right there. It's good to go. So, there's a little quick video to show you how to set up your nest box. You know, it's pretty simple and to the point. Just make sure that you always put it at the highest point on your cage. And like I said earlier, do not use cedar chips. It's going to cause you more trouble than what it's ever going to be worth. And at the end, if you're not careful, it may cost you. And you're not going to want that at all, after all the hard work it took you to get to where you were, you know, in a position for you to breed to start with. So, but there you go guys, just a little quick video to show you how to set up your nest box. So, just stick around and keep watching. You know, there'll be more episodes. There's a lot more to this than what you've seen so far. So, until next time, guys, take care, stay safe.